Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So I've been making and teaching how to make jewelry for a very long time. And one of the comments that I always hear is, you make it look so easy. Well, I think it is, and I want to show you just how easy it can be. So I'm going to take some simple parts and some simple techniques and put them together and teach you how to make your very own jewelry. If you want to see what I'm making today, come and join me. So to make our easy peasy necklace, I'm going to be using about 1 meter of Irish wax linen. I have a full strand of 6mm rosewood beads. I have a nice little cherry blossom nugget. I have a little glass pendant, a large hole decorative metal beads, and some 8/0 seed beads. And for tools, we don't really need much today, just a pair of sharp scissors. And to make life a little easier at the end, we've got a pair of tweezers. Now I do have to tell you that this is the very first time that I have filmed in my new sort of home studio, which really isn't a studio much, so there's not much to show you. But it sounds very tinny in here because we don't have any furniture really or anything in here yet. And the lighting's different, and I can hear my husband and my dog walking around upstairs and all those things that are very distracting. So if I don't seem like myself today, it's because I'm kind of not. So please bear with me for a few weeks while we get a few of these things built, and then one day I will show you a nice little tour of whatever I happen to create down here. So let's get started on this necklace. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my Irish wax linen and I'm going to match up the ends, and then I'm going to find the center of it. Then I'm going to bring it to a nice little point there, and I'm going to run it through the loop of the glass pendant. And to make a lark's head knot, what we're going to do is open that little loop up, and then we're just going to bring those two strands right through it. And you want to make sure that they're staying even, because we want to have even amounts on both sides. And you can see our nice little lark's head knot there. So I'm just going to pull it down, and that locks that in nice and tight. Okay, so now I've called this an easy peasy necklace because it is quite possibly the easiest necklace that you will ever make. So the first thing we're going to do to make our necklace here is we're going to put on one of our wood beads. So I'm going to run both strands through a wood bead, and then I'm going to take one of our large hole spacers, and then our cherry blossom and a large hole spacer, and then another wood bead. And I'm just going to run those right down to the bottom there. And that'll make a nice little focal point there. So now I'm just going to be starting on either side, and I'm going to be putting half of the beads on one side and half of the beads on the other. But the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to put one seed bead on and one wood bead, and then one seed bead and one wood bead. And if your Irish wax linen starts to kind of come unraveled, you can just sort of twist it in your fingers, and it'll make it a little bit pointier. It makes it a bit like a needle. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure that I'm putting equal amounts on, and I'm always going to keep checking my pattern because it's really easy to kind of get mindless on this one and just start randomly putting on beads, and then you look down and you've got them all on and you've missed a seed bead somewhere. So you want to make sure that you are checking that. So I've got seed bead, wood bead, seed bead, and I'm going to keep going until I've got equal amounts on both sides, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to finish off the necklace. Okay, so now you can see that I've got equal amounts of seed beads and wood beads going up both sides. So now I'm going to add on seed beads just to finish off the necklace. So we give you a full strand of your main beads, and then we're going to give you enough to complete about 5 inches more of seed beads. So because this necklace does not have a clasp, it's just going to be going directly over your head. So you want to make sure that you are measuring this for whatever length that you want. So, you know, some people want it a little bit shorter, some people want it a little bit longer. It also depends on the size of your head because sometimes you have a bigger head than others. So you're going to want to put on whatever amount of beads you feel is going to work for you. But we've found about 5 inches of beads is about where you want to go. You can also see here I've left out 2 of the wood beads, and I've got 2 of my large hole decorative beads there that I'm going to use as an accent on the end. Again, that's strictly up to you. This is your piece. You can do whatever you want. So I am going to just continue this part, putting on all the seed beads, and you can see what this is doing here is just extending the necklace out. So I'm going to put about 5 inches of seed beads on both sides, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to finish off the necklace. All right, so now you can see that I've got about 4 to 5 inches of my seed beads on there. And again, you can make this as short or as long as you want. We're going to give you plenty of seed beads to be able to create the length that you require. So now we're going to just tie a simple overhand knot. Now we could do a square knot or something like that, but we found that it looks a little nicer when we tie an overhand knot. The ends want to lay a little bit better. So you can just use your fingers with this, or you can take a pair of tweezers and place them inside right where you want that knot to go. So what I do is I just pull my beads down, and then I place the ends right where I want that knot to go, and then I pull up on it. So it's not really important that you have a pair of tweezers. You know, you can do this with your fingers. And it doesn't have to be really tight in there. It's actually a little better if you have a little bit of Irish wax linen showing, because it makes it a little bit more supple. So I've just tied a simple knot. And then to finish it off, what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of a decoration on the end, so to speak. So I think I'm going to start with a seed bead, because I don't want those large whole decorative beads to fall over. So I'm going to do that, and then you can put, you know, you can do something like this. You can add another seed bead if you want. It's kind of your piece to play with as you see fit. So I'm going to leave about that much of a dangle. So I'm going to just make a little knot here, and then I'm going to make another knot right over top of that, so that, because these these rosewood beads have a little bit of a larger hole, so I want to make sure that I've got just a little bit of a bigger knot there. So I just make my second knot and I pull it right on top of that first one there. So you can see that creates a nice larger knot there. And then I'm going to repeat on the other side. So start with my seed bead, and then my decorative bead, and then my rosewood bead. So go down to where I want them, and you can have them, you know, next to each other, whatever you want. Again, this is your piece, so be creative. So this is a great necklace if you've never made anything before, or perhaps you just want to make something where you don't really have to do a whole lot of thinking. You just want to make something really pretty. So let's see, we'll get that second knot in there. All right, so there we go. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors, and I'm going to give that a little bit of a trim. I'm going to just leave about 1/4 of an inch on each side, and I'll bring back the other sample and show you how these look. So there you go, there's our 2 different samples. We have our glass bead with our cherry blossom, and our rosewood and the little bit lighter colored 8/0 seed beads. And then here we have a really lovely little sort of Turkish looking silver piece with a nice big silver decorative bead there, and some magnesite, and then some Picasso 8/0 seed beads. So these are really fun to make. They're kind of one of those perfect things if you're just wanting to sit in front of the TV and just kind of string some beads on. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. The kits are going to both be available online on our website, and they're both going to be super affordable. So thanks again for being patient through the changes while we move from the store into my house. It's very weird for me. I'm having a tough time filming this today. This is probably about take 9, to be honest. So hopefully it'll be okay. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give me a like, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from everybody. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you do so. I want to thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.